Welcome. I am Day9 and this is Apollo. How are y'all doing tonight?
That's quite a sick response.
I know. Are you as excited as I am, Mr. Apollo?
I'm so excited. I'm shaking over here. I'm getting ready to cast some excellent StarCraft 2 games.
And for any of you who didn't know, of course, the weather isn't so nice outside. Many people died on the way here. Trucks and cars overturned, but you're the survivors. Here for the very first ever StarCraft 2 tournament at DreamHack 2010. And the competitors today are among the best in the whole world, and there's a very excited woman in the back.
She obviously knows Mad Frog's going to play. Such a handsome guy.
Mad Frog is quite dashing, and he will be in this first group, in Group A, that consists of Thorzane, Elfie, Mad Frog, and White Raw. So without any further ado, we are going to run up to our little commentary corner in the top, and let's give a cheer for DreamHack SteelSeries LAN 2010.
Thank you, Day9, for that great introduction. So, we're going to just start out with the players that is coming from my right is Elfie, Lucifron, and Mad Frog and Top. Yeah, so anyways, let's go to the other players on the left side of me, and it's NTT, Thorzane, Action Jesus, and White Raw. Come out of here! So, anyways, they are still configuring the computers up there. So, I'm just going to tell you about, we're going to throw out some free stuff later on about, from QPad and so on. So, anyways, it seems they are soon ready up there. And let's go to Day9.
Time to do a little bit of casting. Oh, fantastic. Now, of course, I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about this first match we have coming up here.
The first match is going to be White Raw versus...
All right, so it looks like our first match is, of course, going to be White Raw against Thorzane, a little PvT action.
That's actually going to be a really good game. Thorzane is so good.
Yeah, you know, that's something to note, that both of these players have been practicing a lot for this tournament. White Raw, of course, came out with an early sprint in the early days of the beta. He was a Brood War hero, but for StarCraft 2, he kind of had a little bit of lull in his strength right when the game came out. But he is back in full force, performed brilliantly at BlizzCon, taking third place. Oh, yes, indeed.
That is such a great feat to finish third place. Aside from me, I think he was the highest non-Asian player to... Yeah, it was, wasn't he?
Yeah. It was Loner in second, of course a Korean next genius in first. But you know, Thorzane is a player who really has been putting in a ton of practice, an excellent Terran player. And so White Raw's going to have a little bit of trouble, because honestly, I think White Raw's best match is probably his Protoss versus Zerg.
Yeah, definitely. And Thorzane is so good versus Protoss. I think he's in the EPS semifinals and the Nordic semifinals, and that's quite an achievement in itself. And we are going to get into that game pretty soon. We're going to invite the players. But like we were saying, Thorzane is so good. He's won multiple Viking Cups as well, taking out players like Nana, another great player. White Raw, though, is not someone you can just walk over. He is such a talented player, and he has been around forever. Oh my God.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and one thing is that the players actually need to add us on the friends list. There they are. Hello. It looks like the players have just logged in, so we'll be able to start the first match. Now, for any of you who just tuned in, there will be 6 matches played today, 3 from Group A and 3 from Group B. So in the first hour and a half today, it will be the Group A matches, and they will be playing out all their games right there up on the main stage. For any of you in the crowd, you can see them logging into BattleNet training right now.
Yeah, we are just going to get underway. Both players will be... Are they accepted you yet? Like, no. Like, you can't cast this game.
Yeah, I know.
Like, no, we really do want to cast this game for you guys.
Yeah, we had to add each player individually to our buddy list, so that way we can get started. So Thorzane.
What is the first map for this? It's going to be...
We're going to get the info from the players, because the map set, the way it works is that most tournaments have a preset series of maps. But at the DreamHack Steel Series LAN, there are 7 maps in the map pool. Each player chooses 2 that he does not want in, and then they eliminate 1 more each, so there's only 1 map that will be remaining. So as a result, it's really the players who get to decide. Now, personally, I'm curious, what do you think would be the most chosen map based upon that result?
I'd probably say Metalopolis. It's such a, well, I can't really say completely balanced for all 3 races, but it is the most balanced out of all the maps, so probably in my opinion. All 3 races do have kind of equal opportunities to take down the game versus the other race. The thing we have to talk about really is that in the group stages, it's only just the 1 game, which is going to be so detrimental to the entire results of each game in the group stage, as both players have to anticipate any form of cheese, any kind of rush builds, anything like that can just throw them off the game. So they've got to be super careful and play as solid as possible, not to lose in such a stupid way. But like I was speaking to the players behind stage before, that's actually one of their major concerns, like, oh, this is actually just the best of 1 in the group stage, and this could throw me out of the tournament straight away.
Yeah, you know, and that is something that is going to put a lot of pressure on the players, but again, they do get to choose all the maps that they want to avoid any goofiness on. For instance, Scrap Station can be very hard to play against Zerg. So it looks like Thorzane and White Raw have chosen the map Zelnaga Caverns. I think that's a great choice to begin this tournament because, again, it's a very well-balanced map. It's a very straightforward one as well. There's not too much craziness that can happen in it.
Yeah, it's actually quite a cool map. The thing that Thorzane has to be careful about is there's so many locations on this map that you can hide pylons and your tech structures because of the bushes, and then you've got the different locations on the left and right hand side depending on where you spawn. So that's one of the things that you have to be careful about, especially being just the best of 1. You don't want to lose to any hidden tech structures such as DTs or Stargate or whatever. But it looks like both players are in the game now. We're just going to see if they are ready to begin.
All right, now before we end up getting into this first match, I got to know, are there any Thorzane fans in the crowd?
And also, are there any White Ra fans in the crowd? Oh my God!
Oh, we got a crowd favorite.
Woo! White Ra does have a few fans in the crowd.
Now, one thing to note, they're just sorting out final sound issues again because we are loud people. They want to make sure that they cannot hear us while we are screaming what they are doing here. It looks like White Raw is ready, and Thorzane is just sorting out this final last match. So, honestly, what are your predictions for how this game is going to be playing out?
This is such a hard matchup to call predictions, but I really do feel that White Raw has been on form recently. He's been playing extremely well in training games. He feels confident. I spoke to him behind stage just now, and he's feeling confident. And I probably, in my opinion, I'd swing it in favor of White Raw, but not by much. Probably like 55-45. It will be a close game.
And you know, that is a potential advantage for the less known player because, honestly, if you have made it to the final 32 here at the Steel Series LAN, you're going to be an extremely strong player. So this means that Thorzane obviously is going to be very, very talented. But it means that White Ra's had no chance to see what Thorzane's strategies are. Thorzane could have studied White Ra as much as he wanted to. And honestly, you can execute a risky build if you're in Thorzane's situation and pull off a miracle win because, again, it's just best of 1.
Yeah, and both players do have capabilities to actually, like you were saying, study each other. Both players do play on Europe, and because of the features within Battle.net, you can review build orders and whatnot. Both players know each other's style, and that's, like you were saying, possibly a disadvantage in terms of, for White Ra, in terms of that he is so well known. Everybody watches his streams. You can see all the fans in the crowd.
Yeah,
you okay there?
Yeah, I'm just redressing
so
myself.
So Thorzane can actually research deeply into White Ra and study every move, every slip-up, every mistake that White Ra makes that Thorzane can know and abuse. And that's got to be something that he wants to concentrate to take down White Ra.
So Thorzane did just log off and relog back on. Apparently there was an error on his computer. So of course we just love to build the tension and we love to tease. Now let's take a look at some of the matches that we have coming up after this series. It's going to be Mad Frog against Elfie. And then I think we're going to wrap up with what I would call the big crowd favorite for the Group A series, which is going to be Mad Frog against White Ra. So that is going to be quite juicy.
That is going to be so good. We are just checking if players both are ready now. We're just waiting for Thorzane to re-enter. Everything is okay on the technical side. We are good to go. I'm ready to cast this game. I'm pretty sure you're ready to cast this as well.
We're all ready to cast the game. White Ra's in the game, but Thorzane's having some problems.
So we'll have to just wait for him a second. But going back to the map, I don't know what the statistics are on the map between Protoss and Terran. I don't think it's that much different in terms of balance within races.
Now, I will say that, you know, Marines and Marauders have traditionally been the standard style of play on that map. Actually the standard style of play on most maps for Terran, but lately Protoss have kind of hit this stride where if they make it to the 15-minute mark, it's extremely hard for Terrans to do much of anything. On a map like Xel'Naga Caverns, a lot of times that's okay because you have the backdoor entrance to your natural. Your third base for Protoss, really no matter what it is going to be pretty vulnerable. And of course, drops in the main along the side are so potent. So I think that that's a reasonable choice.
And that's what Terrans have really been advancing with their style of play as the game develops. Terran players are actually starting to abuse, well not abuse such, as to use drops so efficiently. I mean, they'd move down with a bunch of Marine Marauders, and the Protoss player's like, okay, he's coming, I'm gonna get ready, gotta get ready. And then all of a sudden there's a drop in your main, and all probes are dying, you're losing key structures. And that's what players have been doing, and especially players like the Muslim who have studied Terran so well, played it from the day one in the beta. That is what they do, multiple drops all over the place, and that's what White Raw has to be careful about.
And I have great news, ladies and gentlemen. We are going into Game 1 of the DreamHack 2010 first ever StarCraft 2 tournament. Give a cheer for Thorzane and White Raw!